All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Buccaneers Daily. My name is Jax, and I post daily Bucks content, so be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Was reading some power rankings earlier today. To I think nobody's surprised the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the bottom five. Surprising to me, they were actually ahead of the Chicago Bears. I have seen a lot of power rankings where Tampa Bay is either the worst or second worst team in the National Football League, and I can't get behind it. All right, I just can't get behind it. I know Tom Brady is gone. I know the quarterback situation for the Buccaneers is a little skeptical with Baker Mayfield. Kyle Trask is your 1-2. I understand, but that defense is still super talented. You still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Cage. There are a lot of threats on the offensive side of things, and we've seen a revamped and retooled, restructured offensive line this past offseason, specifically the new addition at right guard via the draft. So, outside of the quarterback position, I think Buccaneers have a really talented roster. Obviously, last season, it's tough to make that argument because last year, even with Tom Brady, the Buccaneers were just 8-9. Last year for Tampa Bay, even from the start of the season, like this time last year, things were just a little bit weird. Things were different. I remember sitting behind the microphone talking last season about win-loss projections for Tampa Bay for last season, and like the amount of comments, the amount of people who said 17-0 was crazy. And what's even crazier is it wasn't even out of the realm that Tampa Bay could win 15 plus games last year. While they did make the playoffs and they did win the NFC South, it certainly was not pretty at all. And there were a lot of things that really pissed me off, specifically, there were so many miscues on the offensive side that it just needs to be cleaned up. And that's what I expect and anticipate to happen this upcoming season. But we're going to talk about why Tampa Bay really isn't that bad in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button, hit that sub button for daily Buccaneers content. I say daily Buccaneers content like I haven't posted a video in the last 4 months. Apologize for that delay. I run an NFL channel called Will Upton, so just kind of been focusing on the league at large, and we're getting this channel back to daily content, man. I live here down in Southwest Florida. Absolutely love it here. Got to get to a couple Bucks games this upcoming season, but I made a Packers video earlier today, and their roster is very similar to me as far as Tampa Bay goes, where it's just they're really talented rosters with all the question marks mainly focused at the quarterback position. I got to say, Baker Mayfield has had a really weird NFL career. I liked what he did in Los Angeles, and it has me hopefully optimistic for an around 500 season for Tampa Bay next year, because I think Baker's gotten a really bad rap. I liked what he did in Cleveland in his playoff season. Last year, a little over 2,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But we did see in that 2020 season with Cleveland, 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. We know Baker makes mistakes. We know he throws interceptions, but he can sling it. He was selected at number 1 many years ago. It feels like now, just 2018, but it feels like an eternity ago. But he was selected number 1 for a reason. But even if Baker Mayfield doesn't win the starting job, well, I'm a big Trask fan. I'm a huge Trask supporter. If you guys know on this channel, my best buddy is a diehard Florida Gator fan, and he has been wanting Kyle Trask to get an opportunity for so long. And I just want to say this. I am optimistic for Tampa Bay this upcoming season, because if Baker wins it and he loses it with his playing time and his playing ability, like we saw in Carolina last year to start off the season, and Trask gets the rest of the season, right? However many games we're in, well, we're going to see a large enough sample size from Kyle Trask to be like, all right, should we move forward with this guy, or are we taking a QB right away? It should be very obvious. And most likely, Tampa Bay will be, if we're taking like an analytical approach, a statistical approach, Tampa Bay most likely will have a top 10 pick next year. There's projected right now 4 quarterbacks to go in the top 10, and I love all 4 of them. So it's a really good problem to be in right now, where it's like you have a talented roster. You have threats on the offensive side, and you have a ton of threats on the defensive side. So like Carlton Davis said, we're going to make a lot of people turn heads this year. If they do, great. If they don't, well, you're going to have a much more clear vision of the future. Are we going to have to go full scale rebuild here? Are we going to have the first pick? Do we have the second pick? So basically, like, to me, it's a win-win, right? The Buccaneers exceed expectations, make the playoffs, win the NFC South. Awesome. If they don't, well, here's your franchise quarterback. All right. But I just want to say real quick, Kyle Trask was selected in the second round 2 drafts ago for a reason. All right. I am all aboard the Trask train. And with training camp starting up here, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the starting job relatively soon. The defense, though, is the big thing, man. This defense is so good, and they dealt with so many injuries last year. The whole Buccaneers roster dealt with so many freaking injuries, and it was right from the gate. You know, the offensive line, right in training camp, bang, big time loss. If the defense is healthy next season, they're going to be a top 10 defense. Last year, with all the injuries, as horrible as an offense as you had, like literally, guys, I mean, Bucs fans, we know this. You scored 18 points per game. That was the 7th worst in the National Football League last year. Dead last in rushing yards at 1,308 yards. There are several players in the NFL last year who ran for more yards as themselves than the Buccaneers had as an entire team. All right? So you're not moving the ball. You average actually the 3rd last passing average, just 6.3 yards per completion. And you're the dead last rushing offense. Your defense is going to be on the field a lot. And the season is very long, as we're all aware of. So that defense is going to see major wear and tear. That's why another reason I'm really excited is Rachaad White. Like, I was huge on Rachaad White all of last season. I was begging for him to get more touches. We, saw it at inconsistent times, but I'm really excited about Rachaad White getting the go-ahead to be RB1 this upcoming season. But I mean, like, the defense, you got Vita Vea, right? You have Devin White, you got Levante David, you got Shaq Barrett, you got Jamel Dean, you got Ryan Neal, you got Winfield, you got Carlton. Like, there's a really good defense there. And it's going to come down to the quarterback play. But your defense is really good. It's top 10, a healthy top 10. It's still elite, all right? So I'm just saying, I'm carefully actually optimistic for the Buccaneers this upcoming season, and it wouldn't shock me if they won the NFC South. It wouldn't shock me, all right? Against all odds. I know it's very optimistic. So Buccaneers fans, let me know what you guys are thinking down below in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, hit that sub button. Peace.